just people on the.
Oh, really? It sounds like it's coming from.
Yeah.
Weird.
It often feels like someone's like in the apartment. Okay. Can you?
Can I?
Good.
Yeah. Is it it's streaming right now?
While I'm still on my weight journey,
Uh-huh.
to cover my arms. All right, this is fun.
Ooh, I like.
I'm destined to be a drag
It's all in the same color palette.
How to match your
It's like a Pinterest board for people who shop at Chico's. Single moms in their 50s.
That's right. Or like the. Have you seen Absolutely Fabulous or no?
No. I know what it is, but shades down.
Shades down, ass up.
That's the way we like to
Cock.
You heard it here first.
Uh.
Hi, Sam Turner. Hey, Vince. Hey, Blaine. All the regulars are filtering in.
Yo.
We back, babies.
We back.
Don't look no further. Baby, I'm back, yeah.
I never get that reference.
It's classic 2000s R&B.
Yeah, not my area of expertise.
Let's wait for peeps to filter in.
Another interesting thing about that fucking person camping, that would be named, is that.
But it rhymes with lake.
He was very, very like sassy about music. Like I was DJing. It was clear that like he wanted to.
Oh yeah, he was like, please don't play the Beatles.
I know. I'm like, fuck off.
Which is like, I'm sorry, but like, if you don't like the Beatles, you should know that your opinion is wrong.
Also,
like, you need to look out for the greater good of the group.
Also, we're camping. Like, people like the Beatles.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know what it's like to DJ. It's annoying. Like,
yeah.
I like doing it, but also it's like you have to account for the group. And it was like, oh, what are we gonna listen to your shitty ass music?
If anybody in this chat doesn't like the Beatles, you can close the chat.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
I don't want to fucking hear from you. The Army of Cunts proudly supports the legacy and the music of the Beatles.
And like, the Beatles are not my favorite, but like, you have to be able to admit that they're amazing.
Yeah, he was saying the Beatles are not good.
It's like,
the Beatles are not good.
You have a man bun. Get the fuck out. Also, he brought like, who gives a shit? He brought a bunch of knives camping.
He did?
Yeah, a lot of knives.
Oh, like to whittle.
Right, which is cool. Like, I enjoyed it. I used one of his knives. Like, I'm down for outdoorsy shit. But like, I was setting up my tent, and
oh, Ron Sexton is in the chat.
I know.
He says very fashion.
I love Ron Sexton. Sends me like articles and intellectual things. I love them. Uh, I was setting up my tent because I was next to them, unfortunately. And
Your tent was next to theirs?
yeah.
Did you hear them fuck?
No, thank God. That would have
Good.
been nauseating. But
I noticed, like, in the middle of the night, I think it was Hemda, like, cough, and she was like not that far away from me, but like probably like 10 feet away.
mhm.
And I heard her cough, and then I heard her like sigh, and I was like, if they start having sex, there's no way that I'm not gonna hear it.
Do you wanna
And I
hear-
got really freaked out.
Do you want to hear something fun?
Sure.
Hemda, it was like fucking Emily, boyfriend, set up their tent so close to us that we were like, we couldn't fuck because it was so. You cock blocked Hemda. I was like,
I'm not like thrilled about that. Like, I'm sorry that I should be guiding her cock, not
always.
blocking it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like that's kind of amazing to hear. Like,
Yeah.
because I was like tortured by the idea of Hemda and Xerxes fucking next to me, and like that I was going to hear
because they're our
it.
friends.
But I didn't, because they're our friends. Like, not because I support their relationship. I had this whole conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
You were there, right?
I think their relationship weirds you out the most out of anyone.
It doesn't. Okay. I like that they're together. Like, I like them together. It's not that I don't like them together. It's just, it's hard for me to get used to it,
Mm-hmm.
is all. I will get used to it. I just, you know what? I haven't had that many friends that I've been friends with for a while that then get together.
Yeah.
And I know it's like not an uncommon thing. It is a common thing. I just like, I personally haven't seen that happen. So I think for me, I just like, I put people in boxes in my mind. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm like, this is this person's relationship to this person. And then when it changes, it like kind of, I don't know. It
Yeah, I
kinda,
agree.
Like, wears me out a little bit. But it's
Also,
nothing
them
against
being
them.
like cutesy together is so funny.
They could have had sex though. They would have just had to be like really quiet, which I think maybe they can't do. You know what I mean?
Meow.
What?
Like they can't even be quiet.
Can't you
I'm
imagine?
not being sassy. I'm like being like sexy.
Right.
Yeah.
But can't you imagine Hemda being like a screamer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an expressive woman.
I had sex.
Oh God. It was so many couples this year. Where do you have sex?
In the tent.
Wow, that's impressive. The ground was so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like easy. But like you gotta do what you gotta do.
What
you know what I
what
mean?
positions?
What positions? Like like the spooning position. The I was not on top ever. Doggy,
Mm-hmm.
missionary, all the hits,
Reverse
all the standards.
cowgirl.
I wasn't on top at all.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That would have been way too hard. I wouldn't have been able to be on top, I don't think, because like I usually need something to hold on to.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in a tent. I would have collapsed the tent. Can you imagine?
That would have been great.
The tent collapses, everyone starts running over, like, oh my God, what happened? We're
You're
like
naked.
like still fucking.
That would have been fun.
But, you know, we weren't making noise because we didn't want people to hear. But then, like, you know, like when we were like moving around, like when I dismounted,
Mm-hmm.
then like it started crinkling a lot.
Cody Allen says lazy doggy style, highly recommend.
It's actually my favorite.
Yeah, doggy's the best.
Doggy style is my favorite.
It's so fucking pleasurable and so little
And
work.
easy.
Yeah, it's super easy. They're so knives. Okay, so
knives.
So he's got like 7 knives, which cool. If you had a nicer personality, I would care less about the knives or think less about it, but your personality is lame.
Oh yeah.
Um
Your personality is knives.
Yeah, exactly. And so she's like very lightly joking with him about the abundance of knives. I hear this happening.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Like they're for different things. Like this knife. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh my God, you're like
You're
one notch down from the gun guy.
Yeah, yes, he's very gun guy. He's very gun guy, and
Like
he's like,
he and gun guy would get along.
oh, they would love each other. They would both be like, fucking, let's talk about tools and be emotionally suppressed and fucking
How we
not be able to
secretly hate
handle
women.
Yeah, exactly. It was very like gun guy reminiscent. And that's why I warned you about him, because I'm like, I don't want him to fucking freak out.
Thank you so much, by the way, for warning me about him. So I get to camp. And we went to camp, guys.
Yeah.
And Andrea's like, just so you know, this guy, because I had never met this guy before. He was like a boyfriend of someone.
Mhm.
And Andrea was like, just so you know, like I made like a light Holocaust joke. And he
A
got
Holocaust
really-
light. My God.
A Holocaust.
I also said Holocaust, and he. I'm surrounded by Jews. What is the odds that I'm serious?
But like, yeah, exactly.
He's such a blowhard fucking.
Who were also like making, I mean, they weren't making Holocaust jokes, but like they were making like.
They were being like.
It was really good that you told me is what I meant, what I was going to say, because it's like there's a high likelihood that I would make a similar joke.
We're all goofing
We're
around.
joking around.
Yeah.
There was another day on like the next morning when we woke up, the same guy, he had no sense of humor about himself.
No.
And I really I don't have any tolerance for people like that. Like I can't handle when people like take themselves too seriously.
It's the worst type of person.
The worst.
They're the worst hang.
They're the worst hang, exactly. You just like have to be so careful with your words, and it's like, what's the point? So he's talking about like sports that he played in high school, and he says, oh yeah, like I used to play field hockey, and I wasn't even thinking about like who said it. Like I was just having fun with my friends. So I'm like, ooh, field hockey. Did you wear a little pleated skirt? You know, I'm like joking around.
Mm-hmm.
And he
homo. That's what he heard.
That's what he heard, and
Yeah.
he didn't like it.
Yeah.
So he looks at me. He's like, no, it was floor hockey, not field hockey. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
A, you said field hockey, and that's a woman's sport. And
Yeah.
B,
Thank you so much.
I obviously didn't really think that you wore a skirt, you fucking blowhard.
Yeah, he was such a blowhard. And I was like, I gotta warn her, because when I made my Holocaust joke, he looked at me like he wanted to rip my fucking head off. And he mentioned it to someone else too, so I knew it bothered him.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well now I can't make those jokes. That's fine. I'm not like, oh my
I
God,
have to
my
make,
rights.
I have to make a Holocaust joke.
But I'm just like, if you can't see that I am so clearly joking around, we're all
Playing around.
We're all playing around, and like this is clearly a very inclusive group. We got Jews, we got gays, we got women.
We got it all, kid.
We got it all. Then like what else are you gonna freak out about? And then clearly fucking your big skirt comment really ruffled his fucking tail feathers. Yeah, his entire personality can be summarized with like fuck off. He also
Take a seat.
he also
This is my generally what I have to say to like anybody who annoys me now is like, take a fucking seat. You're not that important, and
you're harshing the vibe.
you're harshing everyone's vibe. Take a fucking seat.
Oh my God, Vince said it perfectly. That sounds like a reality TV show, a bunch of comedians camping with someone who can't take a joke.
Yes, like a civil rights activist or something. No, but he's not even that.
No, because he's an asshole.
He just like has a lot of opinions and isn't like even that good of a guy.
No,
like, he just like thinks he's a good guy.
That's the thing. Is like if legitimately, if I had made the Holocaust joke and he'd been like, hey, you know,
I'm
not to be-
sensitive
not
about
to
that.
be an
Like I have
asshole.
family that died in the Holocaust.
yeah, I would be like, oh my God, of course, I'm so sorry. And then completely would like, you know, but it wasn't that. It was like, meh. It's like, well, now all I want to do is
make more jokes.
Now I want to go ba ba da ba 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 around your tent every fucking morning because you're a bitch.
You like come to breakfast the next day wearing a yarmulke
Them 10 Xerxes were like,
and
"You
like
should-
draw one of those.
You should have like put the curls in the front.
The payas.
I just show up. Okay, so one of the
You're like shaking palms.
one of the most truly insanely and also hilarious for how bold it is anti-Semitic things I've ever seen is there was a designer, what was his name?
It doesn't matter his name.
No, he's famous for it, for this
Oh, really?
particular. Yeah, so he got like drunk at a press event and started saying some like
Yes.
real
Oh, yes. Who is this?
God, I can't
He's
remember.
famous for being like super anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Let me see.
He's a high-end designer, right?
Yeah, and he
Yeah. And like, but he wasn't canceled.
well, so here's the thing. So okay, hold on.
Just write anti-Semitic fashion designer into Google and it'll come up.
I know.
Although Tommy Hilfiger might come up, and I still to this day I will not buy any. I mean, Tommy Hilfiger is also like usually pretty
Yeah.
tacky, but
He also said some racist shit about black people in the 90s.
he's a terrible person. But like in particular, he's anti-Semitic. So like every time I see anything with that logo on it, I'm like, I'm not buying clothes made by a fucking anti-Semite.
Well, now that this guy got upset with me, I'm just gonna wear exclusively
Clothes by anti-Semites.
John Galliano. Okay,
Yes, Galliano.
so John Galliano, brilliant designer, got fucking slam basted at an event in London and said some like out there shit about hating Jews. And so he was like, this was pre-cancel culture.
Pre-cancel culture, yeah, because Mel Gibson didn't even get canceled.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. He
He's a
continues to
terrible
walk
man.
this planet. He threatened to like
I mean, I don't really know what he's doing.
bury
now.
his
Is he still, like,
bury his
directing?
ex-wife in the rose garden.
Alec Baldwin. Well, Alec Baldwin's like a terrible person.
Yeah,
There's a roast coming. He has a roast coming up.
that's
Do you know
great. Yeah,
that? I'm actually kind of excited. I'm gonna watch it.
yeah.
I
He
think.
seems like a dick.
He seems like a terrible person.
Yeah.
But he's a good actor.
Yeah,
But he called his daughter a pig. Do you remember
yeah.
that?
I remember. Yeah,
Although that's not as bad as being like the fucking Jews.
it's all not great.
It's not great.
Yeah. So John Galliano says a bunch of shit. He's like soft canceled. Like he's asked to step down in the designer house that he was the face of. And like inside baseball, people who in my industry at the time were like, he's a fucking nightmare. Like this is like obviously not surprising, but also he was like
a designer, a nightmare.
sure,
Shocking.
a petulant, like out of touch child. So a year or so later, Oscar de la Renta, may he rest in peace, was like, okay, I'm gonna bring John Galliano on to design for Oscar, and like in like a
covert way.
yeah, people knew he was designing. It was kind of like,
But he's
let's-
just not like his name's not on.
yeah, it's like
That's almost worse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was like, come on, man. Like he was so talented that they were
He's like, I'm giving you a chance. Like you get to
Yes.
design, but like keep a low profile for now.
yeah, and like fucking learn your lesson and like figure some he went to rehab, the classic. I don't think if you're truly like anti-Semitic at your core, I don't think rehab's gonna like
How?
yeah, I don't like
What do they do? What's exposure therapy
Yeah.
for hating Jews?
just take him to a bunch of bagel stores, make him fucking sit there. So
Make them stand outside a synagogue and shake everyone's hand as they filter in.
okay, so the collection is beautiful because he's very talented. And so the designer usually comes out at the end of the show to just do like a wave or whatever. Oscar de la Renta comes out. John Galliano comes out in a fucking Hasidic costume. And it's like,
Was he wearing a wig?
I don't know.
Or
Like
just the clothes.
the
Is there
curls.
photo
He was
evidence
doing
of
the
this?
curls. I don't know. I think they like wiped it so fucking fast.
Oh, he had like the prom curls.
yes. Like, I mean,
The payas. It's
If-
called payas.
if you're gonna do it, wow, that is certainly like
What? he's mentally unstable.
Of course. Yeah. Like
Is he a drug user?
I think so. I'm not sure. Like he was just I think after that they were just like, I don't fucking
Probably like at least an alcoholic or something.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I don't know. But anyways, so basically this guy was acting like I was fucking John Galliano-ing up the campsite. And I'm like, it makes me want to push
Put
this.
on a Hasidic costume.
Yeah.
If only I brought mine.
God damn it. Yeah. He's the
You could have I don't know if I should say this. It's a joke.
Okay.
You could bring the gorilla costume and then just wear a yarmulke over it.
People like this make me want to do that. Yeah, he was the goddamn
That's
worst.
So fucked up.
Yeah,
I can't believe he did that. That's
Yeah.
so fucked up.
I know. And I'm like, oh no, Emily's coming. She's gonna want to fucking joke around. I gotta warn her.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for warning me. But then, plot twist. So the next day, I brought my boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me, he was like, I need to tell Andrea what I just overheard. And I'm like, what? And he's like, the guy who got upset at her about the Holocaust joke
Mm-hmm.
just said, in response to somebody saying the word solution, he said, yes, the final solution.
My God. My
Which
God.
is on the exact same level, if not
Yeah, worse. Yeah.
than what you said. You literally just said the Holocaust.
Just said the word. Are you fucking
like you're saying the final solution.
You're fucking quoting Hitler? Fuck off. So annoying.
Like, I don't even know what to make of that.
It's just you're a weirdo.
Maybe it's like he thinks it's okay when he says it, but not when other people do.
Not when what am I? Goyim say it. Whatever. Have your fucking I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but also like Chemda made the very good point, like, oh, you're okay with us all joking about rape. You know what I mean? We were joking about rape, we were joking about women. You didn't fucking have a problem with this shit.
I
Didn't have a problem saying underhanded comments to your fucking girlfriend.
Yeah, he also said his girlfriend was like she needed to go like run an errand, and we went on a hike, and then we came back from the hike, and like we saw her car pulling out, so like she took a little longer than we thought she would. Like we thought she left already.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, she's probably putting on makeup. Like she takes forever to put on makeup. Welcome to my life.
I have a shitty bun and I look like shit.
It was like a bad sitcom.
Yeah. No, I know. He was the literal worst.
Can you imagine if Dustin was ever like, yeah, she's taking forever to put
it was
on
basically
her fucking makeup.
It was basically bitches be shopping.
It was basically bitches be shopping.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, you legitimately just bitches be shopping me, and I have to just go like, that's fine, and I am like, it's fine. I mean,
and she wasn't there.
Yeah,
it would be a little bit different if she was there.
Yeah,
and it was like a friendly like negging or
yeah.
whatever. I mean, I still wouldn't like that, but it would be a little bit like she could give him shit back,
right.
but but she didn't even hear him say that.
If we're gonna holocaust, then you can bitches be shopping. Fair is fair.
Fair is fair.
But like, also, you're a dick.
Yeah, just know that.
Oh, I
that
fucking
didn't come off too
long
good.
monologue about how much I know about bikes and wilderness.
Nobody cares about your bikes. That's
no
another
one,
thing. Like,
no one cares.
Really? Like, you're telling me the price points?
The 17 tire. Fuck off. Let's put this up on Instagram immediately. And tag.
Yeah, how quick do you think this is gonna get back to them?
Anytime someone like slightly bothers me,
you're like, I'm not gonna go too into it. I'm just gonna say, and then like 2 minutes later, you're like, go on. I'm going on.
I'm gonna drag you on the internet. The chat says, "Oh, the boyfriend, congrats." Everyone noticed you slipped the B word in without fucking
whatever.
acknowledging it. Whatever. What? I have a boyfriend now. It's whatever.
Whatever. I just like
We're official. What? Andy.
Oh, you can say his name. I don't. Yeah. Why
The
am I-
name
I'm, like,
of your
such a-
boyfriend. I'm allowed to
I'm
say
like, it's a secret.
the name of your boyfriend. Do you think if I say his name, he will not
Break
become
up
your
with
boy?
me.
Yeah, exactly. It's a delicate situation.
No, I think he'll be like too happy about it.
you can't give it to him. You don't want to give it to him.
He'll be like, "You're a great girlfriend," and I'm like,
The slam piece leveled up. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
He did. Yeah. Well, that's the natural progression.
Oh my god. Jennifer says, I love when I have my car radio on and my windows down and Andrea yells, fuck off.
Craig just said slam D.
I'm gonna downgrade Dustin to slam D. Oh my god. Oh, because Andy. Oh, fuck. I thought it was like a fun.
No.
It didn't make any
It's still-
sense, but I like.
It's still good.
Slam D.
It's catchy.
So then what would Dustin be? Slam Dust.
Dandy. Slam Dust.
Uh-huh.
Or what was your campsite name at Burning Man?
Beavertown.
Dusty Beaver.
Dusty Beavers. Yeah.
Except that's like Dustin's not a vagina.
No, he's not.
It's like
I mean, Dustin has a penis, but spiritually he is
Dusty D.
Dust-
Dusty D.
Dusty D. But you have to have slam in it. Slam dust is fun.
Slam Dust.
Dust bunny.
Dust. Dust Slam. Dust Slam. No Slam. No Slam.
Yeah, totally.
Slamac. Dust
Mm.
Slam. Slamac.
No. Yeah, no.
He
His
doesn't have a fun
easy to. Yeah.
Yeah, last name. His first name you can do a lot with.
Yeah. D-bag has
D-Bag
been
is
a
my
favorite of
personal
his.
favorite. But
Dust box. Yes.
Dust Box.
Yeah.
Because he dusts your box.
I make him.
This is our show,
I make it-
ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
This is what we've been reduced to. / are always like.
Well, speaking of that, we got a question that might be fun to answer. I don't know. Who knows anymore?
Who gives a fuck?
I
I love the Holocaust.
If you want us to answer any questions at any time, by the way, because somebody asked us this morning, will you guys be doing more questions during the YouTube live video? We'll always do a Q&A. Like if you send us questions, I love answering questions because
yeah.
A, like I like interacting with everybody, and B, it's so little work
Yeah.
for me. Like
Make my job easier.
yeah, I don't have to prepare a single thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what do you guys do for money? Triggering.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys do for money
Rim jobs.
/ income? And when do you recommend quitting your day job, following your passion? Any advice on that?
Never.
Never
We
quit
made
your
a
day job
terrible
if you want.
mistake.
Yeah, if you want like a 401k, if you want to ever retire.
You know what? Like, I was staying at my very rich friend's house in San Francisco after Burning Man. She has a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, gorgeous
in San Francisco, the most expensive city in the country.
Yeah, she works for Juul. I mean, you do work for like a satanic vape company. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
What makes them satanic?
People work for liquor companies. Like, I don't care.
You just think it's like unhealthy?
No, it's healthier. I actually think it's healthier than smoking. It's just
here's the thing.
Juul's been getting slam boxed because of all the kids that smoke it.
Right.
But also
the thing
kids
is, like, yeah, kids are probably like getting addicted to the vape, but like less kids are probably getting addicted to cigarettes, which is actually like full of carcinogens. So it's like,
yeah, and kids eat Tide Pods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I agree that like we should try to regulate them, but they're gonna fucking do whatever they're gonna do.
Right.
But it's Juul just got
don't sell. I did not know this. They don't sell cigarettes in drugstores anymore.
good.
I've never smoked cigarettes, so I never paid attention. But I like remembered that they did, and then I looked behind the counter one day. I'm like, where are all the cigarettes?
Good. Fuck them. They're disgusting.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
Oh,
You can still buy them at bodegas, though.
someone said Juul. I was thinking Juul like the musician. So many people say that.
so long, even after you're gone.
All your musician voices are that. It's like,
No, that's actually how Jewel sounds.
I'll have to listen.
Only Jewel and my Dave Matthews impression are like that, and that's because they sound like that.
Okay, so anyways, so she's in her like
Different variations of Kermit the Frog.
gorgeous apartment, and I'm like, what? She's ordering us food. I'm like watching TV on, lounging on her couch, using her washer dryer, and I'm like, oh my god, it is gonna be so long, if not maybe never.
No, at this rate, never.
But
But you know what? It's
I'll
fine,
have an
'cause
apartment
once
this
you
nice.
get used to living in squalor, it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Hey man, wealth, money's an attitude.
Yeah, I'm rich in spirit.
Friendship.
The ship that never sinks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, listen, hopefully everything works out, but also you can die next week, so.
Yeah, I think so. What do we do for money?
Oh, so to answer your question, our podcast does make us money. Like, I don't know if it doesn't make us a lot of money, like still join Patreon.
Yeah. Seriously.
Like seriously.
Mhm.
But it does make us money. We make like a certain amount per
I would
month.
say like a third of our income now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
And that said, like, again, like I live in squalor, so like
Yeah.
my rent isn't that expensive. That's another thing. Like, I used to work a full-time job in an office, and I did comedy. So like, and I did the podcast. So I had zero time, but I had a lot of money. Like,
Mhm.
and when I say a lot, like probably a lot of people wouldn't think it's a lot, but like to me, it was
Compared to where we currently are.
yeah, like it was
Fucking
plenty.
riches. Yeah.
It was plenty, and like I could have saved, and I would have been on track to like make more money, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But my cost of living was higher because like if you can afford an apartment that's like $1,200 a month, which again, not even that expensive, but
Yeah.
then you're gonna live in an apartment that's $1,200 a month. But what I realized is if I lowered my cost of living, then I would have the freedom to work part-time.
Mhm.
So rather than like trying to maintain, I just decided to lower my cost of living. Andrea actually helped me budget. It's one of the nicest things she ever did for me. She we met at a diner and she helped me figure out exactly what I spent in a month, including
People say I hate Jews.
I support the Jews and I support the arts.
I help Jews budget. That's the most Jewish shit I've ever heard in
that
my
is a feat.
life.
That is a feat.
Sitting in a diner having matzo ball
Sitting in a
soup.
diner, eating kosher pickles and helping a Jew budget.
Yeah. Couldn't be more Jew.
Granted, a half Jew. I might have not inherited the budgeting
Yeah,
thing.
he doesn't consider.
I'm very stingy, but I'm not great at like keeping track.
You are good with money though.
I'm good with money, so I actually like don't need to keep
Yeah, you're better with money than I am.
Well, it's not that difficult.
I'm terrible with money.
I need to be a member at Equinox. You know what I mean?
How dare you take those bar classes?
Yeah, I do. I don't anymore though. I joined the YMCA.
Oh, that's fucking clever.
Yeah, it's $80 a month, and it's like unlimited classes. They're not great, but listen, you supplement.
YMCA.
It's fun to stay at the.
Do you just dance? Are all the classes you dance to the YMCA?
Yeah, I do. I go into yoga classes and then I just grapevine in the middle of the yoga mats. Anyway, so I lowered my cost of living. I moved into a shitty apartment that was $600 a month or something, like crazy low.
Yeah.
In a rough neighborhood. I don't live there anymore, but my apartment is still like very low. You get real crafty.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you live, person who wrote this question, but like I think you could do it anywhere.
Yeah.
You start trimming the fat of what you don't really need. Like, what was I paying for? Like, I was going out to dinner more often.
Yeah. Cars,
yeah, and like I'm still not great at that. Like I'll still like do Uber pools and stuff, and like it's not great. Like that's a
hard one.
It's a hard one.
Yeah,
because
the subway's such
I have all this space to like either save some money before I quit my job,
Mm-hmm.
or I can quit my job and like suddenly I need much less to support myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the first step. The next step is like I have a part-time job. Andrea has a part-time job. She's a producer at Keith and the Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So Andrea's part-time job is a little more she makes more money than I do.
It's also more involved.
It's more work.
I give them like 3 days, but it's like they own my ass during those 3 days.
How many hours a week do you think it is, if you had to say? 30?
Yeah, I would say so. So it's like, it's kind of like this,
So it's like 3 days a week, 10-hour days.
Yeah, and it's kind
which
of,
is part-time.
Yeah, it is part-time. And I think that's kind of the attitude about part-time work now, is that like it's designated to a certain period of time, and during those times you fucking get shit done, because that's when you are working for another person.
Totally.
And then you want to be able to walk away from it when you're done. So sometimes I'll have more on my plate during the week. They also are very flexible with me. So like, maybe they need like an extra graphic design project, and I'm working more during those 3 days than I normally do. But on the flip side, they'll let me go to Burning Man and pay me,
Yeah, you have to have something that's flexible. You just have to have something that works for you. Like, Andrea lives in the Keith and the Girls studio.
It's the fucking smartest
and
thing I
like,
ever did.
She loves doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do
No.
it. Like, it's not a situation for everybody, but when you're an artist, like, I think you just like, you find ways to do like what you're comfortable with in a way to like spend less money in a way that you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Also, like, you have to let go. You need to learn to let go of expectations. Like, that's one of the most painful. I remember when you quit, like, I quit my full-time job probably like, what, 6 months before you quit yours?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's gonna be very disorienting.
Well, you had like nothing lined up.
Yeah.
So you went from like this high octane corporate job to nothing, to like completely being
free
and on your own. And I think that can be very jarring. I quit my job knowing that like I had a part-time thing lined up.
Yeah. I would recommend that.
Yeah, it was really good. I babysit. That's what I do. And I do it probably 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I do it less. It's great money.
Yeah.
And it's off the books. And I personally don't dislike it. Like,
yeah.
I like having like somewhere that I need to be during the day, and it's 4 days a week, which is not that much. And I like having somewhere that I need to be, because I have that amount of structure enough that I know I have to be out, and it like makes me a little bit more productive.
Yeah. Part-time jobs make you plan your shit smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that like I wouldn't be able to plan if I didn't have it, but I do like that I have it, and I like the comfort of knowing that I have a certain amount of money, extra money. It's at this point it's extra money.
Yeah.
Coming in during the week.
I also think like our hope is within the next year or so we can leave our part-time jobs.
100p.
But that takes, especially in podcasting, it depends on what type of creative career you have. So like when you sell physical things, like an illustrator or who sells their art, or like tangible things, it's a little easier, I think, to start making money more quickly, because you have something,
a product
to offer. Yeah. I mean, that also requires like work on your end and sunken costs on your end to make the product. But like with something as sort of, I don't know, up in the fucking clouds as podcasting is, I mean, like in our Patreon, we offer bonus shows and we offer like tangible things. But it takes a while to start to actually like make reliable income, in especially like we were talking today, me and I ran into a comedian on the train this morning who is very, very funny and awesome, has a TV credit, does stand up like every night. And she was like, oh, I'm doing some dog walking shit to like, bolster things in between. And like, you need to learn to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And also like,
it's all about your mindset. That's another thing. It's like I've learned to kind of like be okay with having to do extra work. Like, that's not my identity. And it's a shift in your mentality, because in the mainstream world,
Mhm.
people are like, what you do day to day is who you are.
Yeah.
But for creative people, it's not like that.
No.
It's actually very different.
And like a lot of people judge like if a creative is doing a waiter job or a
Which is
babysitter.
fucking crazy because it's like we've set up this system that like creative people don't
Get paid. Right.
So like if everybody who was creative couldn't work a regular job, nobody would be a creative.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's such a fucking lose-lose for us.
Yeah.
But
I like Andrea said, we're on track to like eventually not have to have a part-time job. So we're fortunate.
yeah, but
have
we
good
also
business sense,
we also
too.
worked really hard.
Yeah.
We worked, I would say, like, especially if you're interested in pursuing something like podcasting or something that requires a following in any sense of the word, an engaged following, make sure your show is good and that you're connected with your audience and that you feel confident in the product before you even think about quitting. Like, there's people who are like, when do you start making money? And it's like, that's not the question. The question is, when do you start being good?
Yeah, when we started this, it wasn't even really a thought in my mind that we would be making money.
Yeah.
It was really just an extra thing to do.
Yeah, that we loved and
Yeah.
and was like a creative
An
outlet.
extra way to like be comedic.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, we were thinking about money like pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because it was growing quickly. But initially when we started, that wasn't the reason why we started it.
If you, unfortunately, which sucks, if you're an artist of sorts, if you use money as your motivator for decision making, usually the stuff you create is shitty, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, how can I reach the broadest amount of people, or how can I like sell out, quote unquote. And it's like, that's not what it's about. It's about making like really good things and then building your experience and like your resume, so to speak. And eventually one thing will hit or will lead to another thing. But like, money can't be your motivator and it can't be your an indicator of your worth.
Yeah.
Like, sitting in my friend's bougie apartment, I guess a few years ago I would have been like, I'm a piece of shit. And I'm like, no, I work a really hard career and I've made like a lot of strides and I'm proud of myself. And I don't work in a career that traditionally makes a lot of money until like pretty far into it.
Yeah,
so,
but like, and it's definitely nice to have all the comforts that money can afford you.
mhm.
My sister has a similar position. They're probably in a similar tax bracket.
Oh yeah, baby.
But and like every time I'm over at our house, I'm like, oh, they live nice,
Uh-huh.
you know. But I wouldn't want to. I don't know. I really wouldn't change my position because I wouldn't be doing something that I like to do.
Yeah, I mean,
so what's the point? You know, they do like doing what they do, but it's still like it's very stressful. I mean, what we do is stressful, but in a different way. I'm like very excited to be doing what we're doing. So
yeah. There's the term golden handcuffs for a reason, and everyone makes their choices and concessions in life. But if you're staying at a day job that you hate just because you feel like it gives you that stability, that is a farce.
You're
like,
wasting away.
Yeah.
I just think like a life that's not filled with passion, like if you are spending 75%, even 50% of your time doing something that you really don't
working,
like doing,
complaining about it,
just so you can do what you do like doing 2 days out of the week, like I don't look down on it. I know that, you know, life can be hard and it can be hard to afford everything that you need, and like people are in different situations. I don't think like any of that is bad or like the wrong thing. I just think that a life filled with passion where you're excited about what you're doing is so much better.
Yeah.
For me personally, like that's what I prioritize.
Also the freedom.
Freedom.
Like the fact that I was able to go to Burning Man for
10 days.
10 days and then take a day and then go camping with my bosses, smoke weed with them, make anti-Semitic comments. you know, like that's 2 weeks of vacation, more than 2 weeks and no one batted an eye because no one like owns me. And that is like a huge and for creatives, there's always someone who still owns you in a way. Like my bosses definitely do in a way that like if I lost that job, it would be a very significant problem for me.
But you could figure it out.
But I could figure it out.
And like you learn to, that's another thing about like the mental shift is you like learn to trust yourself and like know that you can figure it out.
Yeah.
And that there's not like I used to have such a mental block, like thinking that I couldn't do things. And then I'm like, and now I realize why did I think I couldn't do things?
Because we're told we can't do things. Yeah.
You can do, listen, you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it. Rick wants to know how many canned podcast episodes. I don't like that word canned.
Mm-hmm.
How many banked podcast episodes will there be? I don't know. It's not. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like, oh, we canned a bunch.
They're in the can, baby.
We're throwing a bunch of sardines out there. How many podcast episodes will there be before we get to the newest recorded one? I think we have one more.
Next
banked,
week, yeah.
Next week's, and then there will be a new one.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's fucking thirsty for what happened at Burning Man.
So. Don't worry, you'll get your Burning Man content. You'll get the body story.
I'm very flattered that everyone is interested.
Well, it's not every day that you find a body.
I mean, I didn't find
a
body,
you
to
didn't
be
find
clear.
A body, but like you found a body by association.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Let's keep teasing it and never tell.
Yeah, and never say anything.
Yeah.
I think we should wrap up, but what was your hot mess moment of the week?
So yesterday yesterday I got off the train and I went to that shawarma cart that you go to.
Oh.
Yeah. Also being
Queens, the Greek food carts, like the falafel carts, are out of this fucking world. If you're ever in in Astoria in particular, hit up one of those carts because it's like $5 for a falafel sandwich, and it's so much food. You'll be full for hours, and it's unfucking real.
Yeah, being broke, you also learn where to get that good food. Like, obviously, you usually like.
Yeah, I will never spend $12 on a salad anymore.
Yeah. It's you just learn.
Occasionally I will. It's
on a big celebration
on a big day.
Yeah,
big salad day.
But like you learn where the cheap food is and also the cheap and good food. You know, you get very industrious, but and also the cheap and bad food. But that's a whole other topic. But I was just like ravaged, and so I was like looking at my cash, and I was like, come on, have $5, come on. And I was like, I fucking do, yeah. And so I got a shawarma sandwich, and it was raining outside, and I was going to another location, but I wanted to eat my sandwich before I got there. So I was kind of like crouched in like outside of a store that was closed, just with like my bags hanging off my shoulder and like just shoveling this sandwich in my mouth, like a little fucking gremlin. And a woman who walked by was like, "Are you okay, sweetie? Do you need like money?" She thought I was homeless.
No.
And I was like, no, I'm like, not. She's like, cigarettes, money. Do you need food? I'm like, I'm eating food. And I kept being like, I'm not, like, that's very sweet, but I'm not homeless.
Disadvantaged.
Yeah, like I have a MacBook in my backpack. But like she kept asking, and I'm like, you're so nice, but I am not a homeless person.
Wow.
But also, like, in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, of course I looked homeless. I was like crouched in the corner.
Like, were you that sloppy?
Not really. My hair was done.
I guess sometimes,
but I was like, I had
and stuff. You see people that are homeless, and they don't look like necessarily.
Like, I had my backpack and my gym bag, so it's like a bunch of bags.
Yeah, like maybe you're on
dark.
The move.
Yeah, I'm just shoveling shawarma in my mouth.
Wow.
And like crouching. Like I was very like and then I had to get up and like walk. Like I finished my sandwich and she was like slowly walking because she was an older lady. So I had to walk past her and be like, "Thank you again. You're very generous. Just I'm not homeless."
and I have a home. I am going to my home right now, and that's
Not to the hate on homeless people.
No, just making sure you know I have a home. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's not that big of a deal, but it's like it's just kind of gross. When we went camping, collectively, like between the day before camping and then the 2 days camping and then the day after camping, I didn't shower for 4 days.
Wow. Gross.
It was pretty gross. Like I used to, and like if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that like my history with like bad hygiene habits, like I used to not take very many showers, but I've gotten to a place where like I take a shower pretty much every day.
Wow.
Sometimes I'll skip a day, but like at least I'll take like a body shower.
Look
You know what I mean?
You.
But this was like kind of a regression back to like I just didn't feel like showering, especially when we were camping. Like I don't like using those showers if I don't have to.
They're
right?
creepy.
And like low key, I did kind of have to, but like I still didn't.
Does Andy know? Does Slamdy know you're a pig?
Slamdy knows. And the reason why I didn't take a shower like the day after was because I was at his apartment and he took a shower and I was going to get in the shower afterwards. But his shower, I forgot how gross boys are. Yeah. Because he keeps his room clean because like I go over there a lot and he doesn't want me to think he's a slob. But I never have used his shower because it's like upstairs. Like you have to go through his roommate's room to get to it. Oh,
weird.
And I'm like, I'm not going to walk through his roommate's room with a towel. You know, I avoid it.
Yeah.
But it was an emergency. And he took a shower and then I went in and the water had pooled.
Ew.
Like 4 inches in the shower and it wasn't clean.
Get
like
Drano.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, do you not have Drano? He's like, I don't know. I've never used that. I was like, you've never used this is why. You have this situation like, and I'm not even, I don't even consider myself a clean person, but like I could never step into a shower that has pooled. Yeah. I could get in a shower and like if it pools a little bit, like okay, like not that big of a deal.
You're stepping into like
I'm not
still
stepping
water.
into somebody else's grime. Like those boys have not cleaned the shower in weeks.
Ugh.
Hell no.
Boys are so gross.
Boys are so gross, like at a base level.
I know.
So I was just having none of that. I tried to let it drain, but then after an hour it like still hadn't drained. I'm like, hell no. Hell no. I would rather be stewing in my own swamp ass. So that's how that happened.
Well, I mean, I didn't shower for like 5 days at Burning Man. Can you believe that?
Did you kind of like, I'm sure you got used to it at a certain point, but have you kind of like had a revelation of like, wow, I really like don't need to shower that much? Or are you like so happy to be back and showering every day? Like it could go one way
in the middle. I like to bathe. It's not about the shower. It's about bathing. And bathing's not about being clean. It's like an emotional situation for me. Yeah. Yes, I've gotten better with it. My like need for cleanliness has definitely decreased a lot in a good way.
That's nice. I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much.
Mine has increased. I feel like we're meeting in the middle in like a really nice place, you know?
Progress.
And on that note,
progress, not perfection.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Good to be back. Weekend.
Good to be back. I'm going to be going to Spain next week, so we're not going to be recording the live stream next week unless Andrea wants to do it. We'll talk about
with
that later.
Billy Procida or some nightmare.
Or maybe somebody else. I don't know. I don't know. We'll plan something, but either way, we'll be back the following week or whatever. We'll update you.
Yes.
And that's all.
Bye-bye. Someone posted, commented on one of the streams like a timestamp. You know how you can like timestamp and it goes to that exact time in the video?
Yeah.
And it was a time where both of our left